Hey everyone, DisturbedShadow here, bringing you my next review in my Trivium discography reviews. Today we're going to be talking about their second album, which just turned 10 today, which is their 2005 effort, Ascendancy, which is praised as one of their best albums. And it's probably the album that really put them on the map as a metal band. So let's just jump in and talk about what makes this album so awesome. First track I want to talk about is the opening track, The End of Everything, which is this really cool instrumental track that has this really spooky sound with these I don't know, spooky choir and like piano and just acoustic guitars. It's just this really creepy way to start off the album. It's just a really cool sound to it. So I really like that. And it's an interesting way to start off the album. And that flows into the first real track, track number 2, Rain, which is probably my personal favorite track on this album. It's got this really heavy, crushing riff, and there's just so much great stuff happening throughout the song. It's just this really heavy song with some more melodic bits on the chorus, and then there's this really great melodic guitar riff towards the end where it just gets really heavy, and then Travis is doing this pretty fast-paced stuff on the drums. It just sounds really good. I just love how this track sounds, and it's just this really neat solo in it too. It's just really heavy track. It's a great way to open up the album and really show off how far Trivium has progressed from their previous album, which this album is just such a leap forward. Track number 3, Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr, which is one of their live staples, and they typically close with it. I've seen them live 3 times, and they played it twice. It's just such a great song. It's so much energy. It's just this really, really heavy song that starts off with this like crazy, fast-paced drum. And it's just got all these fast-paced, thrashy type of riffs, and this really melodic playing on top of that just sounds really good. It's just a heavy song throughout the whole song. It just makes you want to headbang over and over and over. It's just an awesome song. Another one of the many fantastic tracks on this album. Track number 5, the title track, Ascendancy, is another really awesome song on this album. It's got some really great solos in it and just some great melodic guitar playing and some really heavy, crunchy rhythm riffs that just sound really good. And it just flows really nice, and I just love this song, and just the way it progresses is just so good. Track number 6, A Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation, which is another one of their live staples. It's just this really awesome feel-good song. It's just got this really heavy, like chuggy sort of riff in the beginning. It's just such a good riff, and then there's just this great like it's kind of pulled back, it's simplistic drumming, but it's just got this really heavy marching beat almost to the drums. It just sounds so good, and then it pulls back to a more melodic part like halfway through the song where more singing comes in, and then Matt's just doing some really great powerful anthemic singing. It just sounds really good. And then it gets into this really melodic soloing bit where both Matt and Corey each do a solo one after the other, and they're both really fantastic solos. And then they do this really neat dual lead part that just sounds so good, and I just love the way it comes together, and it's just amazing. And then it pulls back to just a pretty simple drum beat, and then just a few guitar riffs, and then they're just chanting "Hey" over and over again. It's really fun to listen to, and when they play it live, it just gets the crowd so into it. I just have a fond memory of this song. The third time I saw Trivium live, they were playing it, and then Matt Heafy actually locked eyes with me when this part was in, because I was right up in the front, so it was just a really cool experience and a fun memory of this song when they play it live. Track number 7, Like Light the Flies. This is just another really good song. It's got some fantastic riffs in it and just some great solo work all the way through. And the verse is just so melodic with both really great lead guitar playing, and then Matt's voice just sounds so good in this song in the chorus. It's just a really great song. Track number 8, Dying in Your Arms. This is kind of the odd one out on this album. It's more like a radio song almost. It's mostly singing. It's just a really fun song with really fun, like, melodic guitar playing, and then the solos is really fun, and then the stuff Travis is doing on the drums is pretty interesting and exciting to listen to. But it's just kind of an interesting song because it's just so different from anything else on this album and from a lot of the stuff they usually do. It's more like a melodic type of singy, like almost radio friendly song. It's just interesting. Track number 9, The Deceived, which is of course a re-recording of one of the bonus tracks off of their previous album. It's just really cool to see how this song has changed. They've definitely polished it a lot more, and they sort of took out some of the more repetitive bits to make it flow nicer. And it's just a really great song. And as I said in my Ember to Inferno review, it's just a really great song. It has these great melodic bits. And then what I do like about this is that Matt's voice has so much more emotion in this version of the song. It's just so much more range to his voice. It just sounds really good. And then the sound on the lead guitar playing is just so great on this song. It just has this great melodic sound to it. Track number 11, Departure. What I like about this song is that it has this acoustic-y bit in the beginning, and then in part of the voice verses it's more slow to pull back, and it gets heavier again in the verses and in the chorus, and it's just a great sounding song. Track number 12, the closing for the standard version of this album. It's just this long 7-minute song. It's got some great parts where there's more thrashy bits and more slowed down, chuggy types of parts. It just comes together really nicely. It's just a really long, progressive-y type of song. It just has a really great sound to it. Now, I want to talk about the re-release of this album because there's some great bonus tracks on it that I just want to talk about. Especially since this album is celebrating its 10th anniversary, we should talk about everything this album has to offer. Track number 13, Blinding Tears Will Break the Sky, which is One Like the Deceived, which was a bonus track on Ember to Inferno. And they've re-recorded it and polished it up, and it just sounds really good. There's a lot more melodic parts, and they took out some of the more repetitive parts in the opening where they repeat the opening verse like twice right at the beginning before they even do a chorus. And what I noticed about this song is that in the chorus they slowed it down. The drums aren't as fast. The guitar, the main melodic riff is a little bit slower, and Matt's vocals are slower, and it just sounds nicer the way it flows. So it's all about I have to say about that track. Track 14, Washing Away Me and the Tides. It's another pretty good song. What I like about the song is that it's got this fun solo where there's some cowbell and the drumming is just really fun. And that's one of the things I note about that song. Track number 15, a cover of Metallica's Master of Puppets, is just so well executed. It's just a fantastic cover, and I just really love how it sounds. It's just got so much energy to it. It sounds good. And finally, they have the video version of "Dying in Your Arms," which there's a part in the bridge where they replace the screaming with singing, and then there's a little melodic piano bit at the beginning. It's cool little different version of the song, but it's not really anything special. At least anything that different from what the regular version of the song is. So that's my thoughts on the tracks. Let's just jump in and talk about what the band members are doing. So let's start with Matt on vocals. His vocal performance has improved so much from Ember to Inferno. He's got so much more passion and vocal range in his voice. Like he's doing more like gruff type of singing or more melodic singing. It just has a lot more emotion to it than his clean singing voice did in the previous album. And then his harsh vocals are just so heavy and they've got so much bite to them. It just sounds so good. He's got a really unique screaming voice that it's easy to recognize. It just sounds really awesome. Okay, now let's talk about Matt and Corey on guitars. Oh my god, there's so many delicious riffs on this album. They're just these heavy, crunchy riffs, so the more smooth, melodic stuff. All these great solos and all these dual lead parts, they work so well together. And they're one of my favorite guitarist pairs. And they have such great chemistry together. And it just sounds amazing. Travis on drums, his drumming performance is so much better. There's just so many great moments, like on Pull Harder with that crazy intro, or Rain, where there's just some really intense drumming throughout the whole song. It just sounds so good. Or the more like rhythmic stuff on Gunshsot, where it just has such a great sound to it. So this guy's doing an amazing job, and he's just a fantastic drummer. And finally, Brent, the bassist, has left, and Paolo, the new bassist, has come in, and oh my god, this guy's bass talent is so good. He's one of my favorite bassists, and he's turned up so loud in the mix, I can always hear what he's doing, and he's just got all these great parts, he's frequently deviating from the guitar. So Paolo is a fantastic addition to this band, and all four of these guys just have such a great sound together on this album. And it's easy to see why fans just absolutely love this album so much, because it is so good. So final wrap-up thoughts. If you're new to Trivium, this is a very good place to start. This is the place where a lot of fans started when this album came out, and it was just so good. And it really was how Trivium sort of got their fan base to start building up. It's just such a great album, and you should definitely check it out. It's just got a great sound to it. It's not their best album, in my opinion, but it is a really fantastic album, and you should definitely check it out. So that's it for the review, and I'll see you guys next time when I review their third album, The Crusade. But until then, enjoy this album, and wish it a happy 10-year anniversary. And I'll see you guys in the next video.